It's actually pretty impressive to me just how far Nintendo will go to make the public perception of their company just as bad as possible. And it's also equally amusing just how far Nintendo fanboys will go to damage control for their beloved company, to the point where I actually managed to make Twitter furious at myself just because I criticized their favorite multi-billion-dollar company. The ultimate irony being that they view me as the asshole, all for the fact that I don't want the company to take advantage of them and I actually want the games industry to be better. Nintendo, why are you so reluctant on making Mario Kart World better? So a few days ago, the latest update for Mario Kart World was released, putting the game into its 1.2.0 version. And whilst at first glance there are certainly a lot of changes made in this update, when you look deeper into it, it really just shines a spotlight of how out of touch Nintendo is. When using camera play in multiplayer and online play, the game will now remember the camera cursor position and size. You can now see the waiting time until the next race or battle in online play. And you can now choose who to watch when spectating in Knockout Tour and Balloon Battle. Absolutely none of this is worth praising. These are all basic features that they waited nearly 2 months to put into the game. They charged you $80 for this game and neglected to put in basic features that you would expect in an online video game. And hilariously enough, some features in this update just made the game objectively worse, such as the fact that they made the bots weaker in literally every game mode other than battle, meaning that people who play offline and don't play PvP are basically left to rot in a game that is now objectively easier in almost every game mode. You didn't think about making the bots easier in 50 and 100cc and keeping them exactly the same in 150cc, making the game significantly easier for most players but giving the more experienced players the challenge that they might crave in a Mario Kart game? No, we're basically just gonna sabotage the game for the people who don't play online. Okay then. The main highlight of this update is it increases the frequency of lap-type courses appearing in the selection, basically meaning that you're playing less intermission tracks, which was the biggest complaint regarding the online play in Mario Kart World. And on paper at least, this sounds fantastic. Intermission tracks aren't people's thing, and the free lap races are what made Mario Kart so successful in the first place. Until you actually try it out, and you realize that in practice, it really doesn't make much of a difference. I'll let SF Productions explain it.
Now, when playing an online race, you will sometimes be able to select a 3-lap race off in the distance from your current location, as one of the 3 voting options when voting for the next course, whereas before, your 3 options were all intermission tracks. Now, unfortunately, you do not get this option every time, and you still are forced to play on intermission tracks sometimes.
Hilariously enough, this update makes almost no difference at all. You will still be forced to play intermission tracks some of the time, and even under the best case scenario from SF Productions testing, you still only have one of the free tracks being a free lap race. The open world content and all of the shite introduced in Mario Kart World is basically being forced down your throat, as the people who just want a traditional Mario Kart experience are basically left to rot once again. Players express massive disdain for the intermission tracks and being forced to play them, and rather than giving you an option to avoid them altogether, all Nintendo has done is shot you in the leg and then just put a plaster over the injury. They haven't fixed the issue that people have with the game. All they've done is given you the option to sometimes avoid the issue, and that's not good enough. And all of this from the most expensive Nintendo game of all time, I should remind you. You pay them more money than ever, and in return all you get is an update that at best makes a slight improvement for people who play online play, and at worst makes the game objectively worse for people who play offline. So this begs the question, was I ultimately wrong in my previous video where I said that Mario Kart World was doomed to fail?
The answer is yes and no.
Mario Kart World was lacking a lot of basic features on launch, and whilst it's not a good thing that you had to wait nearly 2 months to receive these things, at the very least you have them now, meaning that the game is better now than it was then. Nintendo also took the first step to mitigate the inconvenience of intermission tracks. However, if the new content is so shit that you basically have to get rid of it altogether to appease the fans, I think that's speaking volumes here, especially since the update didn't mitigate the issue completely. There will be times during online matchmaking where it feels as though the update made no difference at all, since again, you aren't guaranteed to receive a free lap race in the roster of races that you have to choose from. As a result of this, the Mario Kart World Discord server that people use for not only matchmaking, but also to get into free lap races will be very popular now, despite the update attempting to bridge the issues. The irony being once again that Nintendo fanboys will unironically look at this video and think that I am the asshole for simply wanting the game to improve. There will be Muppets in the comments section that think I only hate the game because I like Sonic, and that is a very childish and narrow-minded view of the world. I don't want multi-billion-dollar corporations to take advantage of me, of my friends, or of you, and unfortunately that is what's happening with Mario Kart World. You gave them so much money for this fucking thing, and it feels like they're taking the piss in response. But then again, what do you expect from a multi-billion-dollar corporation? They already have your money, they already locked you into the scam that is the Nintendo Switch 2. They have no obligation to do anything for you, they already have your money. You have power as a consumer, and rather than riding the meat of a multi-billion-dollar corporation that doesn't know you exist, why don't you instead stand up, rally the Nintendo guys, and try make a positive difference, because Mario Kart World is a good game and has a shit ton of potential. However, Nintendo seems to be perfectly okay with denying the game from reaching its full potential. I'm the Gaming Rift, I thank you all for watching, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.